talking with Americans anymore would be, on our agenda anymore.
And it's going to be ended soon, and if it starts up again, they'll be hit even harder.
Devastating war in West Asia enters day 11. And now a dramatic signal from Washington. US President Donald Trump says the conflict with Iran may be nearing its end.
Iran is a very powerful country. They were going to take over the Middle East. If we did not hit them, they were going to take over the Middle East. They had thousands and thousands, since their last hit, they had thousands and thousands of missiles and everything else. Most are now destroyed. But they were going to take over the Middle East. Those weapons were aimed at Middle Eastern countries that had nothing to do with this. They were going to take over the Middle East, and they were going to try and destroy Israel. So we stopped it with good timing, and we're very proud to be involved in this, and it's going to be ended soon. And if it starts up again, they'll be hit even harder.
Trump claims the US and Israel have hit more than 5,000 targets since the war began. While hinting at an end game, Trump is warning Tehran not to escalate.
But when the time comes, the U.S. Navy and its partners will escort tankers through the strait if needed. I hope it's not going to be needed, but if it's needed, we'll escort them right through. And we have the greatest mine-sweeping ability. We have the greatest ships, and we know exactly where they're placed. We'll get them out of there very fast, but we hope we don't have any of that. And again, if they do that, if they play that game, we're going to hit them at a level that they have not seen before.
Washington says it will secure shipping through the Strait of Hormuz. Reports say Trump's advisors are privately urging an exit plan from the Iran war as oil prices surge and concerns grow over a prolonged conflict. But Tehran is refusing to blink. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi says the country is unlikely to resume talks with the United States.
I think, talking with Americans anymore would be, on our agenda anymore. This is a war imposed on us, and what we are doing is only defending ourselves. We are facing an act of aggression which is absolutely illegal.
He insists the war was imposed on Iran and says Tehran's actions are acts of self-defense. Iran's Revolutionary Guards are also escalating the rhetoric, warning not 1 liter of oil will leave the Middle East if US-Israeli attacks continue.
Commander Nani stressed that Iran's armed forces will not allow the export of even 1 liter of oil from the region to the hostile side and its partners until further notice. And he said, why don't you tell the American people the truth, that all the US military infrastructure in the Persian Gulf region has been destroyed?
The threat has shaken global markets. Oil briefly surged past $119 a barrel, but now prices have cooled after Trump's assurance. Even diplomacy is stirring. Russia's Vladimir Putin has spoken to Donald Trump, offering proposals for a quick settlement to the war.
The Russian president set out a number of considerations aimed at the swift political and diplomatic settlement of the Iran conflict, taking into account the contacts held with leaders of the Persian Gulf states, with Iran's President Pezeshkian, and with the heads of several other countries. In turn, the US president gave his assessment of developments in the context of the ongoing US-Israeli operation.
But despite talk of the war ending soon, the missiles are still flying. Washington says victory is close. Tehran says the war will continue and the world remains on edge. Bureau Report, India Today.